I'm Jill Webb, and I'm here interviewing Michael Tong. He's a sophomore journalism major. And what we're going to be talking about today is his position at Urban Outfitters. So, what made you want to apply to Urban Outfitters?
I think my main motivation was that I just really needed a job during my freshman year. So I just looked around at jobs in the area, and since I had a car, I was really open about driving to other cities. I saw Urban Outfitters had an opening, so I just went ahead and applied.
And you work at the one in Northampton, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, what is the best part about working there?
I think the best part about working there for me is definitely my coworkers. Everybody there is our community is super tight knit. Everybody's friends, and it's just a very relaxed place to work. Like we all have fun. We have like cool little like employee events, and it's kind of like just like working with your friends.
Do you find that it's a lot of people from the nearby colleges, or is it just a bunch of...
Oh yeah, definitely. Urban Outfitters is definitely geared towards more of the college community, and being in Northampton, which is like the center of the Five College area, we definitely mostly get college students from like UMass and Smith College.
So what's your relationship with your boss like? Is it like your other coworkers, or is it different?
Yeah, no, my boss is, it's a very friendly relationship, but I wouldn't say, it's not unprofessional either, because there is a certain level of professionalism that we do have with each other, but it's more like working with friends as well.
So, what do you think your personal style reflects the style of Urban Outfitters?
I think so. I mean, Urban Outfitters they really hire based on, well, two main things: style and personality. But with the clothing there and their coworkers, they really leave it up to the coworker to choose their own style. They don't make us dress a certain way. So I think working there, I think my style did transform into more of an Urban Outfitters style because of the discount we get, and because being around the clothes, I kind of get a feel of like what I like there, and so I just purchase it, and it becomes part of my wardrobe.
It's awesome. Do you feel like you ever like go out and you see something your coworkers wearing and be like, why would you wear that to work? Or does everybody else have like really good style too?
In general, everybody has really good style, but there have been times where I was just like, oh, that's something. But in general, nobody like wears anything super like outlandish that I would say that I would like never wear. Like I could understand why they would wear something like that.
Is this your first time working in retail?
Yes, it is. I only had 2 jobs before this. One of them was a grocery store job, and the other one was in food service. So going into retail, it was a little different for me because it was very customer focused. And there were a lot of things about retail jobs that I didn't know about that I did have to learn.
What would some of those include?
So that we have these things called standards, which is pretty much how the store has to look, like the clothing and stuff. So by the end of the day, everything in the store has to be perfectly folded, like perfectly hung. Like the hangers have to be even shouldered. The piles of clothes have to be evenly folded and all aligned. Everything has to be perfect.
Do you have any customer horror stories while working there?
There was this one time. I've had a few customer horror stories, but there was this one particular time. It was very awkward. It was a couple minutes before we closed, and this guy came in, and he was on his phone. So usually I would have to greet him, but I didn't because he was on his phone and I didn't want to be rude. So I was just like walking around, and he was looking at some clothing, and I just undiscriminately just like followed him around and fixed up some clothing, but not like super closely. And my coworker did it even more closely than I did because he went to the back of the store where she was working, and I was in the front just like fixing up the clothing. And by the time he came up to the register and checked out, he was still on the phone, so I was just bringing him out. And then he stopped for a second when I was telling him the price. And he goes, I know you were following me back there, and I don't appreciate it.
Oh, wow.
And he was pretty much like a threat. He was like, I'm a businessman, like I know what you're doing. If you do this again, you're gonna be in big trouble. And I was just like so awestruck.
It's just such a weird situation to be in.
Yeah, it's a weird situation to be in, especially when you definitely know you didn't like have any harm.
That's your job.
Yeah, it's my job to just do that. And like I didn't know what to say to him. I was just like, oh no, I think it's just a misunderstanding. But he made up his mind about it. And at the end of the day, he just left with his clothing. I was like, okay.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So lastly, if you had any advice to give to anyone who's applying to Urban Outfitters, what would that be?
I think the most important thing is I feel feel like this is cliche, but just to be yourself. They really look for personality over there. People who are super nice, customer service oriented. Just be super nice and be yourself. Don't try to be something you're not. Just so they can see through it.
Heard it here first. Thank you guys.